Hey everyone, I'm Mark Mann. I'm a portrait photographer. I'm here with Walter today and his incredible rig. Talk about a little bit where it came from. I came from Glasgow, Scotland. Walter and I were talking about what makes you who you are. Coming from Glasgow has played a massive part in that, because it doesn't matter who you are in Glasgow, you're still from Glasgow. And, I will go home, visit friends, and people will say, "So you live in New York?" And I go, "Yeah, I live in New York for 20. You're still an idiot. And I'm like, "Okay, thank you very much." And we carry on. So having that grounding in photography has really taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot that everybody I photograph is just human. We're all humans. We're all on different levels. And if you treat somebody like a human being, more than likely you're going to get treated like a human being back. I'll tell you super quick. I went to the White House to photograph Barack Obama. And it was a big honor for me as an immigrant to this country to go to the White House to shoot a sitting president. And he comes in the room, it's a whole long story, and nobody's introduced him, and he's just standing in the room. And I say, "Mr. President, can you stand there?" And he stands. I take a few photos and thought, wow, I haven't even introduced myself. So put my camera down in front of me, take a couple of steps towards him, go, "Hello, sir. My name's Mark Mann. I'm a photographer from the UK. Such an honor to be in your house." I start blathering like a complete idiot. I see him smiling. He goes, "Thank you so much for introducing yourself. You're probably better at taking photos. Why don't you do that?" We had a ha, step back, had his eye contact for about a minute, took some great photos and left. And it's all because I think I tried to treat him like a human being, although he was president. So that's what I do. Try and do it in everyday life. What else you got? So before I was a photographer, I've really always been a photographer, but I had a ton of jobs, obviously, through university, high school. And one of the jobs I had was selling suits in a very fancy suit shop. And they used to call me the opener, because I could open, could get in there, I could introduce myself, I could show them the clothes. But what I couldn't do was close. Right, best opener that they had. Hi, welcome, to all that. But when I actually came to "Oh, how much is this?" I'd be frozen. So I think what that developed into is being able to open as a photographer. And then, after 30 years of trying, I've managed to close by taking a photo and not trying to sell something. So, a little bit of history in sales, selling suits, I think has really helped me a lot as a photographer, because you know how to open, you learn how to read people, you learn how to do stuff. And I think what it comes to is really just communication. Talk to your subject, like I'm talking to you. How you doing? What'd you have for breakfast? And that's just a skill that you learn in everyday life. But apart from that, I've never really had any other jobs. I'm just a photographer. And a dad. Dad is a very good job. I like being a dad.
Any wisdom you can pass on?
Wisdom. Okay. Wisdom, yeah. Really good wisdom to new photographer. Practice your craft. You're saying you're a photographer, are you taking photos? Are you making anything that anybody cares about? Practice. And you can practice photography in so many different ways. Reach out to Trevor or me and I can give you some tips on how to practice photography without a camera in your hand. Practice making photographs, practice your craft. It's the best and oldest wisdom I can give you.
How was that?
Oh, it was fast. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Magnano. I am a light painting photographer from New York. And I got my start over 25 years ago when I started in high school, actually, believe it or not. I loved photography, doing black and white film photography in high school. And I loved watching, I loved playing soccer, actually. And I got injured and I had to sit the whole season out. And I was pretty bummed about it. But what happened on that year was that I watched this photojournalist run up and down the soccer field. And I said, if I can't be in the game playing, I would love to be documenting the game. And at the end of that game, I went over to that photojournalist and I asked him, how do I get to do what you do? And that next semester, I was interning at the newspaper. And the rest is history. I've done photography, like I said, for over 25 years. And it's been everything from wedding photography to portrait photography to shooting TV shows and even photographing red carpets. And I love the variety that photography gives you. Like, you can be doing the wildest different things from one day to the next, and I love that. I love creating experiences and capturing them. But what I learned the most was that it wasn't until I started light painting that I really felt like an artist. Everything else, I felt like I was just capturing moments. And with my light painting, which is really using long exposure photography and doing in-camera light painting, basically I'll bring light sources in front of the camera and also light up the scene with some low-level lighting. And now I incorporate models because I'm blending my love for night photography, my passion for portraiture, and my ability to tell a story by using light painting and long exposure photography. My tips for anybody who's getting into photography is to find something that you're passionate about, whether it's landscapes or long exposures or even weddings or portraits, and just continue to learn about it, whether you're watching YouTube videos or just going out and experimenting. Doing the type of photography I do, which is long exposure photography, is all about experimenting. And I'll go out and just experiment in my living room with some lights just to learn some new ways to light paint and create. So I recommend just experimenting and always continuously learn and see. So when it comes to finding a niche in photography, I think it will help you focus. I started off really broad, jumping from photojournalism to wedding to portraiture, and now I've landed in loving night photography and long exposure photography, and that's really become my focus, and I feel like it's finally taking off because I'm doing what I love, and when you spend so much time doing what you love, it really helps you get to the next level. So find that niche and pursue it.
Welcome, my name is Abe Curland. Thank you, Walter. It's nice to meet you. So my name again is Abe Curland, and I'm here at B&H. If you had known me in my teenage years, it's surprising that I even got through them. And after some time approaching the bottom middle of my life, I found B&H. And I think it was one of the greatest moves I ever made. I came here. There was a sales manager named Gary Eisenberger who saw a lot of potential in me. I really wasn't felt I was very good at anything my whole life, and he gave me a lot of encouragement. He taught me a lot, and I started off as a B&H salesman, selling point and shoot cameras. Graduated to pro, and then B&H brought me up, and I started doing some training. And eventually I ended up in the affiliate marketing department, where I met a lot of great photographers. And through that journey, other things happened to me, which means I picked up a camera and I started learning about how to take a good picture. And I met a lot of great people and started doing some trips. I've gone to the Tetons, Yellowstone. As a bird photographer, I ended up going to Florida on a vacation one time, and I took my 5D Mark II with a 270 to 200 and a 2X converter, and I saw some birds, and I started taking some pictures of birds, and I fell in love with the bird photography. I started a site called Birdsong Images, and I started to perfect my craft. I think the greatest thing was that I met great photographers, great bird photographers, and the most important thing was they didn't tell me what was great about my pictures, they told me how to improve my pictures, which is really something that is invaluable. I'll never regret those moments where people gave me a little bit of tough love, which is the best way to improve your photography. So I owe that really all to B&H. This whole environment here teaches you how to be better, be a better person. Through the photography, through the art, you become someone that you didn't know who you could be. And that's been my greatest love of photography. I think one of the greatest honors B&H ever gave me was they did a piece called Love of the Craft. It's still live. If you can find it on YouTube and stuff. It's called Love of the Craft. And I was really grateful for B&H for taking the time out and to talk about what I can do with bird photography. And here I am getting ready to really settle down now and get into my retirement age. And I have something that I'll never regret. I have friends that I have found. We're here at Depth of Field. This has been such a wonderful thing to watch. You know, we always went to a lot of trade shows for our marketing department. But David Brommer has been a good friend of mine. And this is just a fantastic gathering of really good people. And through that, again, you continue to create these relationships and continue to meet great people. The photography community is really a fabulous environment to be in. And it's really great to see how over the years, all these people have helped me so much. You'll probably see some images how I started, and learning about light and learning about birds and learning about all the different things, and which brings a tremendous serenity. And for me, bird photography is therapeutic. Going out early in the morning and seeing nature, this is really what I love. So I've become a better person, and I really think B&H really has been the catalyst for all that. I will regret the years. I'm going to have to retire, and I'm going to really miss it. But I will continue with that. I'll always be in touch with my friends here. It's really a beautiful place to be. But you can find if you just type Abe Curland into Google, you'll find all my stuff. And anybody feel free to contact me. I'm always willing to go out and show you the good spots for the nature, landscape, and for the birds.
Hey there, I'm Jill Waterman. I'm the producer of the B&H Photography Podcast. And the podcast has been around for about 8 years. I've been working as producer since last July. We record episodes every other Thursday. And we're here at Depth of Field 2023 speaking with the various speakers. And there will be a number of episodes upcoming on the podcast that's direct from here.
Oh, good. Yeah.
My colleague Mike Weinstein is our audio engineer, and he's the brains behind the sound that makes us sound good.
As a producer, what do you do?
As the producer, I do everything from coming up with ideas for the show, outreach to speakers, booking the speakers, coming up with the questions, writing the text that goes along with the show. I'm also the co-host with our inimitable host of the podcast, Alan Weitz. We interview speakers together, and then Mike and I collaborate on the edits of the audio to create the final episode.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Weinstein, and I mix and edit the podcast, the B&H Photography Podcast. And I work with Jill Waterman to make the show. And hey guys, and I'm extremely impressed with Walter's photography rig.
As a sound producer, what do you do?
As a sound mixer.
Thank you.
I mix levels, adjust EQ and compression so that everything sounds smooth and easy to listen to.
3 tips for a new sound person.
3 tips for a new sound person on set.
What you do and then what I do.
3 tips for what I do. Sleep. Jump rope. Fast computer. 3 tips for what he does. Proper lav miking. About 8 to 10 inches away from speaker's mouth. Just clip it to the outside of his shirt. No one's going to notice it if you can, if you're not making a feature movie. Good microphone positioning for the boom microphone up here. Try to get about within 1.5 feet, and a long headphone cable would be the third thing. Get a nice, or wireless headphones at this point. Pretty good.
You guys feel comfortable? You good?
Very comfortable.
you seem very comfortable. Except when you're doing this. I felt like is that your sound?
Yeah.
Your sound posing?
It's sort of, yeah. It's a better angle. Walter, where are these going to be posted?